Thank you, Lord Mayor. This is a truly dreadful, devastating and unnecessary budget. And I was interested to hear the leader set out his 3 objectives for the future. Perhaps we can measure 1 or 2 items in the budget against it, 1 or 2 things I'd like to talk about. But first of all, as we speak, we all have to reflect on the impact across the board on our residents, on our communities, on our most vulnerable people in the city, users of social services, both adult and children's. Across the board, the impact is going to be horrible. And the blame lies in many directions, as fingers are pointed in all directions today. But we do here, as we talk about it, we have to look at the performance of the Council and how the Council and the Council leadership has got us here. So, first of all, libraries. Now, this is interesting. I'm measuring these against Councillor Cotton's objectives because in that budget last year, which has been referred to a few times for all its flaws and failings, 1 or 2 people have forgotten there was a line in that budget putting in place reductions in library budgets of £1.7 million a year due to start this coming year and the following year. So over 2 years, that was £3.4 million, which interestingly is only a little short of the £3.5 million in this year's budget. Now, last year, some of us were concerned about this and asked the leadership of the Council what this was going to mean. Was it going to mean cuts in services? And we were assured it wasn't. Third objective, openness, accountability, transparency. Now, that might have been, those replies might have been given genuinely, I'm sure they were, in a genuine belief it could be done without what we're actually getting at the moment, which is the threat of closure of 24 out of 35 community libraries. Or it could have been that by giving the Council a year, as was intended last year, it could have found different ways of doing things, as Councillor Tilsley has indicated earlier. What about this idea about co-locating staff in community libraries, about using that space differently? The Council, had it not been divvying the whole last... It was there. The Labour councillors voted for it last year, the same cut. Apparently they're going to vote for today. It was there. Had the Council not been divvying over everything in the last year, some of that work could have been done in an open, transparent way, and better ways of taking the service forward found. As it is, we're now facing the situation where, in great haste and great rush, there's apparently going to be a consultation in April, and these closures will be pushed through. And the equalities impact assessments are interesting on this because they have nothing good to say about the closure of libraries, and they miss some points. I noticed one of them talks about schools that use their local libraries having to find transport further afield, and will they do that? What they don't mention are the families who use the local libraries, and I sit on ours on Tuesday afternoons quite often, and I watch them come in after school, the mothers and fathers with pushchairs and young children. They come in and they use the library. These people are not going to be catching buses to other libraries, and they clearly haven't got cars. The Cabinet member doesn't want people to use cars. We want local services. So that other one about working with communities, what did you say? Sharing power with communities, the thing that's been neglected for so long. And we know the one thing that will happen, the silver cloud out of this, is that people will get galvanised to think about how we can preserve these facilities in our communities. And what a shame it's going to be rushed through, because there are real opportunities, given time, given honesty. If there'd been honesty, perhaps a bit more openness last year about what it involved to galvanise communities to work on these, work and support these local facilities. My other question, and this is as much a question as a comment, is about bin and waste services, because I think Councillor Ball was right in saying, well, why is the 2 weekly bin thing being pushed back to last year? Media reports suggest maybe some pilot schemes. Why do we need pilot schemes? You can know which areas have the highest refuse collection, which areas may need special attention. But if you look at the budget lines, in this year, there is an immediate cut of more than £2 million in agency staff in waste services. So the basics, which have been so undermined in recent years, are going to be undermined even more, because we saw it over Christmas and the New Year. Because of the overtime ban, what residents were told didn't happen. Erratic services happened. People were so confused it wasn't true. And we've been seeing this for years. The service is unable to deliver a regular weekly collection. What we need is the basics right so that residents know what they're getting and when they're getting it. So, Councillor Cotton, we'll take you at your word. Some more for you to deliver on your 3 objectives. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Go on, Kath Scott.